Loitering In Wonderland Studios presents Phoenix West, NyQuil and Cocaine, a face-off novelization. Chapter 1, A Murder of Horses. It begins with what can only be described as action Christmas music as the opening credits begin to roll. We see John Woo's the director and know that a large quantity of slow-motion doves are in our future. This premonition will turn out to be factual. A dreamlike blur effect transitions into a carousel as John Travolta rides a plexiglass pony with a tiny boy. He kisses the bowl-cut-wearing boy in the cheek, and we can only hope that this is his child, and not a pedophilic wet dream we're being forced to bear witness to. We see the carousel from afar and realize there are a total of 7 other people in the area, and the carousel is literally the only thing in this entire goddamn park. Not a very exciting scene when you really watch it from a distance. Speaking of which, we see Nick Cage pull the sheet off a sniper rifle like he's a magician, revealing the prestige of his latest magic trick. The screen reads, "Face off," but really it's more like, "sheet off," as he stands up and tosses the sheet into the breeze. Standing up in broad daylight when your plan is to lie down and snipe is a bad idea. We're immediately clued into the fact that Cage's character is bad at his job, whatever it ends up being. Cut to a severe close-up of Cage sucking something through a straw. His pedophile mustache is yet another warning of what this scene could end up being if shit doesn't change. The upper hairs on his mustache seem to be fleeing into his nose, either to escape the pedophile mustache or to seek refuge and survive the upcoming harsh winter inside his nostrils. The scope of the rifle is fixed on Travolta and his victim/son on the carousel. Travolta picks up the child and sets the child down so they can ride the same horse. It should be noted that he makes the child face him, which only further raises questions as to his true motive with the child, and also would ruin any fun that the carousel could provide as the child is now forced to stare directly ahead at Travolta's chest, instead of a spinning world of possible freedom from this man. Travolta then performs some sort of face waterfall on the child when he runs his fingers down the terrified child's face, possibly to stop the production of tears that are beginning to swell. Cage takes another sip from his straw, which we can only assume is feeding from a bottle filled with Cage's signature mix of NyQuil and cocaine. How else do you get such wild mood swings at any given moment? Cage shoots Travolta in the back, which causes Travolta to either scream in pain or ejaculate. It isn't clear which is true yet. Travolta takes a swan dive off the horse to the ground below. We see the horse in the carousel with blood running down its neck. Either the bullet passed through Travolta or the horse didn't like the pedophile tag team riding it was receiving and decided to pull a shiv on Travolta to let him know. The movie turns into a film school project as the music turns into modulated screams, and we see the child's balloons float away into the sky, representing the loss of innocence or some bullshit like that. Despite falling with the child clutched to him like a tandem parachuter, Travolta, who is trembling like he hasn't had his fix in 2 days, army crawls toward the child who lies 10 feet away on the ground. Must have been a breezy couple of feet fall and the child blew away? We may never know. We see the feet of the 7 pedestrians that were also visiting the carousel park that day. They are standing perfectly still as if watching some sort of Tarantino take on Shakespeare in the park. They are not running to help Travolta. They also aren't fleeing after hearing a gunshot from a distance, followed by a man falling to the dirt with a bloody child with teleportation powers. The gunshot and the gunshot victims are apparently unrelated to these casual observers. They are just standing there as if their stares will bring the child back to life. They in fact do not contain such powers as the child is clearly dead. It should be noted that the child is dressed like Ethan Embry and can't hardly wait, except way bloodier and deader. Travolta grabs the child and pulls him up to his own face. He has lost his plaything and it's an emotional loss for him. The child's body moves like a stuffed bear that you could win at a carnival. But not this carnival, because this park is just a carousel. No need for all that other fun when you can move a quarter of a mile an hour on a frozen horse with a penchant for stabbing people it disagrees with. The camera moves past Travolta and focuses on the carousel. The music turns scary and the horses race by in darkened tones, which leaves the horses looking sinister as hell. This provides more clues that the horses on the carousel ride are the true murderers. Perhaps they all worked together to kill Travolta, knowing that they would never get caught if they were all forced to cover for each other's crimes. A sort of Murder on the Orient Express starring a cast of horses. Clever horses, nature's silent assassins. The screen reads 6 years later, and we are expecting to fade back on the murder trial of the horses. If you somehow managed to enjoy this, go check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/LoiteringInWonderland Studios. We're also on liwstudios.com, Loitering in Wonderland on YouTube, and loiteringinwonderland@gmail.com to get a hold of us. Until next time, in the meantime, I'm Phoenix West. I'll be back for Chapter 2. So long, citizens. I don't know how to end it. And also would ruin any fun that the carousel could... What is wrong with me? And also would ruin any fun that the carousel could... What's wrong with me?